Hey everyone, Todd from SideshowFX once again, and in this video I'm going to give a quick demonstration and show you how to install our SideshowFX Photoshop Bokeh pack for the Stream Deck device. This will allow you to overlay a variety of different bokeh effects on your Photoshop image at the press of a button. Now to quickly demonstrate, let's say we have an image here, make sure it isn't locked, and with our profile loaded on our Stream Deck device, it's as simple as pressing the key that we would like to overlay. It goes through the process and performs the overlay and gives us 3 different layer adjustments for us to further tweak the image. We can use the channel mixer to change our hue a little bit. Our saturation, we have the hue saturation, could do some of the same things, and our levels to increase or decrease our brightness and contrast of the bokeh layer that we have. We can also click on the bokeh layer and we can flip it or flop it wherever we need it. You can also further change the blending mode that's been applied, as your particular image might require something different than what we have applied. So in the pack we have a manual, and I strongly recommend that you follow the installation steps in the manual versus this video. Use this video as a reference guide, but the manual will have the most up-to-date and accurate information. It's always a good idea to follow the manual. In addition, the manual also has reference samples for each one of the effects to give you an idea of what sort of treatments it will look like once applied. Now you can see we have an action folder here, and we have this SideshowFX Adjustment Layers action. We need to copy that to our Actions folder. On the Macintosh system, it would be in Mac hard drive, Applications, your version of Photoshop, Presets. Let's click on this and let's go to the Actions folder, and that's where we click and drag it into our Actions folder here. On the Windows system, it would be your Program Files, Adobe, your version of Adobe Photoshop, Presets, Actions. I already have it applied, so we don't need to do it again. And we also have a script folder, so we can go back out to our presets, go down to the scripts folder, and you would click and drag in the SideshowFX Bokeh 1 script into the scripts folder. And once again, on the Windows system, it's Program Files, Adobe, your version of Adobe Photoshop, Presets, and the scripts folder. So once those are installed, restart Photoshop. Very important that you restart Photoshop so that the script will show up in the script file here. Now, one other thing we need to do is going to edit keyboard shortcuts. We need to apply a keyboard shortcut to that script file. So under the application menus here, we're going to scroll down to the script section, and you can see I've got my SideshowFX Bokeh 1, and we need to apply this keyboard shortcut to it. We have Control, Shift, Command, and Period on the Mac system. And on the Windows system, it's Control, Alt, Period. So you want to make sure that you apply that. Now I'm just going to cancel that for a second. I'm just going to apply that same keyboard shortcut to one of these other commands here, because I want to show you if you have a conflict and you go here and you want to apply that Control, Shift, Command, Period to this script file, but it already exists on an existing command, you'll get a conflict here. You want to make sure that this keyboard shortcut does get applied to this script file. So you need to go to Accept and go to Conflict, and when we do that, it applies it correctly to our script file and takes us to where the conflict was, where that command was previously, inviting us to change its shortcut command. We don't need to do that in this case, but so we can just say accept, and it's a good idea to save your keyboard file and go into the file scripts and make sure that the Bokeh 1 has the correct keyboard shortcut applied. Now in addition, we also want to go to the Actions panel. We're going to click on the menu, say Load Actions, and we are going to navigate to our Actions folder, and we're going to double click in the SideshowFX Adjustment Layers action to load it into our panel, and you'll just double check in your Actions panel that the SideshowFX Adjustment Layers action is in fact loaded in there. Next thing to do, of course, is to drag our assets folder that we have here to your documents folder. So you click and drag that to your documents. If you already have an assets folder from a previous one of our packs, then we can open this up and just drag the SideshowFX Bokeh folder to the assets folder that already exists in your documents folder. Now the next thing to do is load the profiles themselves. I'm on a Mac system, so we would pull down Mac, and you can see we have 3 different profiles, one for the MK device, which is the 15 key, one for the Stream Deck Plus device, and one for the XL. Now I'm working with my XL device at the moment, so this is the one with my Stream Deck software open that I would double click in order to load it in. Now you see we also have a to copy folder. What this is, if I was to double click this, it would show this profile where everything is packed in one folder. So if I double click that, we still have all the same effects, but they're all packed into one folder. The reason for this is it makes it easy if you want to use this bokeh effect pack in one of your pre-existing profiles. So I can click on this, say copy, and I can go to, let's say I go to my Photoshop Pro Toolkit profile and pick one of these empty keys, right click and say paste. And now I have all these bokeh effects available to me right within my Photoshop Pro Toolkit pack. So now that we have the action loaded into the actions folder, the script is loaded in, and the script has the keyboard shortcut applied to it correctly. The assets folder has been copied to our documents folder, and we have loaded up our profile. We're ready to begin working. And let's take a different image here. It's as simple as finding the image that you want. Once again, go to the PDF profile. You can look through the different reference samples to see what sort of effect can be applied to your image. It's non-destructive. It applies the effect over top of your existing layer, so you can try different ones out. So let's say we can go to the second page here, and let's say we want to load this effect in. It overlays it over top, gives us the adjustment layers that we can tweak it further, or we can change the blending mode as we choose. You can also flip the image to get it into the right position. If you don't like it at all, select all these, delete them, and try an entirely different effect to see if that's preferable to you. And you can just go through and try different ones until you find the right effect that works for you. Once you're happy with that, you can use the adjustment layers to tweak it further, and you're all done. So hopefully you'll find that these bokeh effects can enhance your images in a certain way, give some pop and life to them. There's 50 different ones available to you through the Stream Deck device, and I hope you find some use out of them. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.